Unhealthy people don't view people as people. What the heck does that mean? Now, it can be very difficult for me to convey exactly this truth so that other people can get a real sense of what it is I'm talking about. But the way this conversation started was that the person asked me, have you noticed that unhealthy families are governed by unwritten rules that discourage and punish people who show any individuality? Unhealthy families don't handle very well somebody expressing or exerting their individuality, do they? Why is that? Well, it comes down to what I just said. Unhealthy people don't view other people as people. Think about what emotional disorder is. We've talked about it a lot in the past. What is the cause of emotional disorder? Where's the disorder coming from? It's rooted in misperceptions or a fundamental misunderstanding about the inherent nature of feelings, self, and life. Do you remember that every time I say you have a misperception or a misconception about self, that this doesn't just apply to you? This is not just a misperception or misunderstanding that you have about the nature of yourself, but by extension, a misperception you have about all selves, all people, what it means to be a person, an individual. You see, it's impossible for you to have misperceptions about your nature as a person and not have misperceptions about the nature of other people as individuals. And these things are all tied in together. The simplest way to say it is that, for example, when I was unhealthy, when I looked out at other people, my ex-wife, the people I worked with, my lover or my mistress, whichever term you want to use, my girlfriend, my brother, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, I did not view them as people. And to understand that, you have to understand what that means to view somebody as a person. What does it mean to be an individual? So that you can kind of grasp what it is that unhealthy people are experiencing when they look out at other people. Let's talk about healthy people for a second. When healthy people look out at other people, what is it that they're seeing that causes them to interpret what they're seeing in entirely different ways and then to behave in entirely different ways? What they are viewing is another being that is completely unique and separated from themselves. So it's got no connection to them. The person is a standalone, unique being. No connection, no relationship to themselves, I should say, as a standalone, unique being. If you think about it, that's what being an individual is. Being an individual inherently involves being a completely unique being unto yourself. You're not an extension of me, you're not a part of me. So whatever I am, you are a standalone version, completely unique to yourself. You're not related to me, you have no connection to me, you're a standalone thing, a standalone being. Let's say that with a Yankee accent. Being. That's kind of a Forrest Gump accent one. I miss you, Jenny. What this naturally includes when you view a person as a completely standalone being, I miss you, Jenny. What it naturally includes, and there's no other possibility, is that as an individual, you will naturally have your own opinions, your own likes, your own dislikes, your own interests, your own preferences, your own ideals, right? Because you're completely separate from me. So whatever my ideals are, my preferences, my likes, my dislikes, my opinions, if you're completely separate from me and you're a standalone being, when I view you, and I'm viewing you with that understanding, you're a completely separate and standalone being, what am I just going to accept? If that's my view, what do I just naturally have to accept? That you have your own opinions. opinions, your own preferences, your own likes, dislikes, all these things, right? Do you see that then that my natural inclination, if that's my perspective upon meeting you, is curiosity? Almost like meeting an alien being, right? Comes to the earth. What would you think? What would be going through your head? What is this thing? How does it think, and why does it think like that? What does it like? What does it dislike? What does it eat? What's its life like? Do you see how naturally when you perceive somebody as being an individual, definitely a natural result of that is curiosity. You're not assuming, well, they eat the same things I eat, they like the same things I like, they view the world the same way I do, they have the same opinions I do. Your natural inclination is to say, well, because they're a standalone, unique individual, they've got all their own preferences and stuff. And I wonder what those are. Like, I can't understand you unless I get to know those things. Why would I not want to get to know those things? Or why would I assume that I already know those things? The only reason I do that is because I don't view you as an individual. The only reason that I would assume that you like the same movies I like, your favorite songs are the same songs I like, your favorite foods are the same foods I like, things that I think are disgusting are the same things you think are disgusting. The only reason that I would default into that assumption is if I do not view you as an individual.